Are there any more questions? Hopefully ones I can answer.
What's your thought on the bloodbed moons that are coming?
Well, I think they're a warning. And I don't believe that it's the second coming of Yeshua, the rapture, or the tribulation. I believe we're going to have a bloodbath in the earth. So the good side is that it's great for teaching people about the Hebrew calendar, because they you go, have you seen those blood moons? Well, everybody has. So I can talk to Baptists about the Hebrew calendar. For me, the blood moons are working. I'll be disappointed if nothing happens, because then I'll be going, well, okay. Well, that doesn't, obviously the Hebrew calendar doesn't mean anything.
Things have happened.
What's that?
Things have happened.
Well, they have happened, but you can still go down to the grocery store and get what you need. For me, big things are like war and destruction and having to duke it out. So anything that's less than that is not big enough for me. It needs to be like total war, and then that's big, and that may be what it's announcing. Certainly, America is doing crazy things with Iran. We're making friends with our enemies, and we're making enemies with our friends. Israel was being singled out. I believe that I'll be surprised if America doesn't get a major whopping soon, because to whom much is given, much is also required. When America turned against Israel and Gush Katif in 2005 and said, "You guys have got to leave, get out of your homes. That place has to be Judenrein." That's when Hurricane Katrina, which was travelling one way, God says, "Look, take a U-turn and go over to New Orleans and just show them a thing or two." So, they that curse Israel will be cursed. And so again, I believe that God is a covenant keeper. So I believe there's safety with Him, no matter what happens. We need to just listen to the Lord, because He is our Father. He's our Saviour. It says, "If my people are called by my name will humble themselves, then I will heal their land." It says that in 2 Chronicles 7:14 or something like that. But, there comes a time when you can't save the country. He says if these three men are there, something or other in Job, yet through their prayer they will only save themselves, in their own righteousness they'll only save themselves. It says that in Isaiah. So there comes a time when it's too late for the nation. It's already been weighed in the balance and found wanting. And I believe that's where we're at. But I believe, and it's such a beautiful country, man. So, but I believe there's great hope for God's remnant. And I just want to fan the flames of hope. I don't want to be just telling people about doom. I want to say, okay, well, Candyland is going bye-bye, but, God is going to raise something up. He's going to do good things. And He's already doing good things. And we're on the front lines of a battle. We're turning to Torah. We're on the front lines. So we're the shock troops. That's why we're walking around shocked, dazed and confused, because we're getting a pounding. I watched a really cool war movie. It had, the Germans and the Allied forces. They had the American soldiers. They were around a city, and the Germans were pounding them with the big guns, and they were just getting a withering. They were just getting a hailstorm, and they were all in the foxholes. And then they got out, and then they marched down, and they conquered the Germans there. So, if you can actually, having done all to stand, if you can actually withstand the attacks of the enemy, and you're there, your faith's intact, you're going to be stronger for it, more broken, more humble, and perhaps listening to the Lord a bit more, because we need to be able to, in battle, we need to be able to read the enemy, outmaneuver him, and when the captain blows the whistle, we need to go over the top of the trench and put our flag in the enemy's castle. And so we are on the front lines of a battle, and we're still getting ourselves together as an army. We're still getting ourselves together as congregations, and I just long to see us functioning far more efficiently, far more lovingly, far more together, because an army is supposed to work together as a team. So so I've taken a pounding in Australia and New Zealand just mostly by being stonewalled, and I couldn't. No matter what I do, I couldn't reach out. I didn't know. I couldn't wake them up. So I've actually crossed the ocean to actually talk to people, and maybe when I return, they'll wake up. But it talks about enduring hardness as a good soldier. So I want to endure hardness as a good soldier, but I don't want to be hard. I want to be a hard man without being hard. I want to be a softie where it counts. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask a couple things that I know you may not, just your opinion.
Yeah.
That are...
Is this speculation stuff? That's okay.
This is kind of speculation, but
Yep.
it's just kind of like...
Sure.
Okay, so, I have a friend in Israel, and she's like, after things are happening, she's like, everybody needs to get their passport.
Right.
Okay, so one, what do you feel about that? Two,
don't load me up with too many questions.
no, this is the other one, because this hit me,
Yeah.
and then I was kind of, it's been weighing on me which way, because, during the Holocaust,
Yep.
before the Holocaust, people saw what was going on,
Yeah.
okay? And those that left
Yeah.
were, okay.
Yeah.
The ones that didn't, that stayed, they were taken into the camps and
Yeah.
whatever. I know you talked today about how the rabbi said go, and that was really eye-opening. But are we seeing something? Should we go?
Well, where can we go? So, what was the first question? I've lost.
If we
Passports. Yeah, you need New Zealand passports. No, just kidding. Where can we go? I mean, you have to be led individually. If God says, I want you to go to live in Timbuktu, then by all means. I believe we're running out of time. I believe that what happened with 9/11 was that the bad guys said, lost tribes are going to leave, well, we're going to start closing the doors. And so they used the excuse of Homeland Security to lock the doors on us so that our rights are taken away, but the bad guys are coming in here by the droves. So passports, smashsports, as you might say. If you're Jewish, I don't know. Where is the safe place? Which is the safe country? Shall I go to Mother Russia? Shall I go to China? Shall I go to Australia? That may be safe, but then again, it may get what's coming to them too. China may take over. What's that? Switzerland, you can go skiing. Look, I honestly don't know. I believe that most of us are going to be staying put where we are, and we're going to have to work it out in this messy time that's coming up. I don't believe unless God shows you specifically to go somewhere. And this is where we need to listen to the Father, because here there's going to be safe places. The safest place is under the hem of His garments, just keeping His commandments, walking in His fear, and letting Him lead us and guide us. We need to know which way He's trying to direct our lives. There may be a house to buy and a house not to buy. There may be, as we bring our decisions before Him, there may be red lights coming, and we've just got to be able to see them, and green lights coming, and so forth. So there'll be places of safety here in America, and there'll be places that we aren't safe. So I'm sorry for a vague answer, because I don't know that there is actually a safe country. I really don't.